Hi,
How are you?
I'm great.
I think through this whole pandemic process, I've really tried to get on the phone with legacy businesses in towns that, could use some help. Everybody seems to know who you are in your restaurant, but I would like to learn about a little bit about the history, and then I'll tell you what I have in mind.
So we opened in May of '88. My dad went to the original in Greenville, Mississippi, and loved it and wanted to bring that to Little Rock. And so he was the first person that talked them into branching out.
Well, the reason that I heard about you is not only from Cappy, but from the folks that work in my store. But I have two friends of mine that have a really strong fondness to Little Rock. And they knew that I was launching this program, and they really thought it was important to highlight your restaurant. Oh, there they are.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, Kath.
Hi. It's great to see y'all.
I was just telling Catherine that two dear friends of mine heard about a program that I was doing, and they thought about a really wonderful place called Doe's. And one of the things, Catherine, that's important to all of us is trying to battle food insecurity in America.
Right.
And Little Rock tends to lead the charge in a couple of areas. It's not a good list to be on, but lead the charge in terms of the per capita population that's struggling with food insecurity. And so as an investor in small businesses and as a friend of local restaurants, much like Ted and Mary and Cappy, we're trying to come up with creative ways to solve two problems: to drive revenue to local restaurants who need help, and to feed those that are food insecure. And so we wanted to get a perspective on how your business is faring today compared to same time last year in terms of percentages and what's happening.
I'm down about 60%. It's been tough. When we first opened back up in May, I was shocked that we weren't doing as bad as I thought we would do. We were only down about 25%. But as numbers have gone up, business has gone down. So we're at 60% right now.
And what's a typical day or week in revenue for, not at this time of year, but just in general? What's a typical day or week when you're feeling good about your business?
I like to do about 35,000 a week.
Okay. Most businesses, including ones I'm affiliated with, have really struggled to keep up with bills when the revenue's not coming in. Are you finding yourself from a rent or from a payable standpoint in any sort of odd predicament right now?
I have not been able to make my loan payments, but my bank has been working with me. So I've paid interest on those. Right now I'm paying what I absolutely have to pay, which is utilities and insurance, and of course my vendors. But I have a stack of things that I've had to put off.
And do you think the bills would total 10,000 that are in the stack of mystery, 15,000?
Probably 10,000 on top of my note payment.
Mary and Ted, do you have some questions?
Yeah, first off, you're awfully smart, Marcus. You were asking all these amazingly bright questions. I just want you to know that the first place Mary took me 26, 7, 8 years ago when I first came to Little Rock was Doe's. She kept telling me about it and the history of it, and we've been there so many times since then.
Doe's is a legend. It's the coolest place, first of all. The decor, the way it looks, the vibe of it, the people that work there, their kindness, their friendliness, the tamales, which I'm embarrassed to say that I literally ate 12 at one sitting, and that's the truth. Just thinking about being there makes me yearn to be in Little Rock and homesick.
And what does this restaurant mean to your family? I mean, it's been a part of your family for a long time. If it went away, what would that obviously cause?
My dad went into the restaurant business when I was 10 years old, and I'm 55. I just turned 55. And so it's really all I've ever known. And we opened Doe's when I was in my early 20s. It's just like family.
You do a lot of to-go business?
I do some to go business, but mainly at lunchtime. We do sandwiches at lunch.
And what's a typical menu item? Like, what's a typical price for a to-go item for lunch?
Well, our cheeseburgers are 10, 25, and that comes with fries. So,
Okay. So, Ted and Mary and I were talking, and Cappy was instrumental in helping us orchestrate this. And so we had this idea, and it may not be possible, but we have people that could help execute it. And so we were thinking, like, do you think you could, if we placed an order for 3,500 meals, is that something you think you could execute?
what time? What kind of time?
Well, by maybe 4:00.
No problem. We'll make it happen.
The program's called Plating Change, and the goal behind the program is to drive this battle against food insecurity by using our friends who happen to be local restaurants. And the idea is that my goal and Ted and Mary's goal and a lot of other people's goal is we just can't have people without a meal, not just around Christmas, but January, February, anytime, right? And that's a big
Okay.
problem for us as a country. And so rather than us doing the food bank thing, which is tough this time of year because of COVID, you can't gather food, we came up collectively with this idea to drive revenue to local restaurants that people care about. And in turn, those restaurants would take those blessings and then provide meals to people that are food insecure. And so what we want to do is take this 35,000 and get the bank note current.
Right.
We want to get all the bills cleared up.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. We want to get all that pressure off of our backs so that the business, because you're going to get the money in December. Great. Put it in the bank. Hopefully there's another round of funding. Great. Put it in the bank. This is to square you up so that your nights aren't as sleepless as I imagine that they are.
Absolutely. That sounds awesome.